Hi everyone, we're here at Solana Breakpoint in Abu Dhabi and I'm super excited to be speaking to Yannik Schrade, who's the CEO of Arcium. Yannik, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
So let's start with a little bit more elaboration. Tell me a bit more about Arcium.
So Arcium brings privacy to Solana. And what we've been building over the past year, Arcium is 1 year old roughly, is the most advanced privacy protocol, the most advanced encrypted computing protocol in the world that enables users and developers to, for the first time ever, utilize encrypted, sensitive, private data directly on Solana and build new, powerful, never before seen applications with that.
And why is encryption so important? And what do you think this will open up in terms of Web3?
Yeah, so I think there's mainly two aspects to that: onboarding retail users and onboarding institutional users. And both basically come with an expectation towards privacy. And so far, privacy has been lacking because on top of public ledgers like Solana, everything by default is public, and we're changing that. And that opens up an entirely new design space for applications to utilize, right? Powerful new applications. We're actually able to allow teams to replace all of traditional confidential finance, where nowadays most of the daily spot trading volume within traditional markets takes place within private trading venues. All of that can now happen on top of decentralized public infrastructure, while the trades, all of the information can remain private, cryptographically secure. And so that's really the way to onboard all of those institutional flows and also onboard retail users.
And then where from the demand side are you seeing most of it coming from? From the institutional side or from the retail side?
So we have both kinds of customers, right? We have many teams on Solana building on top of us. We also have entirely new teams on Solana building on top of us, building things like neo-banking infrastructure, because stablecoin payments can now be confidential. So what we've developed there together with Solana is CSPL, the confidential SPL token standard that is powered by Arcium. And what that enables for the first time ever is confidentiality, right? Privacy within on-chain smart contracts without requiring any trusted party. No party that keeps a private key, nothing like that. Yet this smart contract, which is this inherently public thing that sits on top of this public network, can on its own manage a private balance that no human being, no computer even in the world knows the size of, and perform private transfers. And I think the most simple use case of that would really be me sending something to you, Rachel, right? Me as a retail user, I don't want to expose all of my asset holdings to you. But going further from that, as an institutional user, you also don't want to reveal your all of your business logic, basically, right? So confidential stablecoin payments, I think, is a huge use case. And it's really only the beginning. It's really sort of the entryway into this more encrypted world. And successively down the line, what we'll see is encrypted capital markets to emerge, which basically is the combination between internet capital markets and encrypted computing. And that brings huge new unlocks to Solana and the entire world.
It's great. It really seems like this great marriage between all the advantages and benefits that we see from decentralization and public blockchains, but then marrying it with this privacy piece as well. And so, you mentioned a lot about the encryption, the supercompute. Is there going to be a problem, or do you foresee an issue on the compute side part of the equation, like in terms of the power, the energy?
So what has been a very conscious design decision on our end is to really look at privacy and from the ground up and sort of shift the way we have built privacy in the past, where it always started with the underlying cryptography, the mathematics, right? And then this infrastructure had been built and it never found any adoption. And in my mind, one of the key reasons for that is this way of designing those systems from the underlying technology first and not really thinking about applications. And so we think about applications and products first. And what matters for products, right, is seamless user experiences and enabling more powerful applications to actually adopt this technology, right? And so aspects to this are providing speed, low cost, high throughput encrypted compute and confidential computing. And that's what we did. So we've built the most trustless and scalable encrypted computing protocol in the world that solves those issues.
Incredible. So with all this, I mean, you've done so much already. What is next for you?
Next for us is launching our mainnet alpha. We have some incredible teams building on top of us. Umbra, for example, which was one of the first teams that we incubated a couple of months ago, and they did the largest ICO in Solana history a couple of weeks ago, and are fully powered by Arcium. And as a founder of Arcium, I'm incredibly proud about this, having these kinds of new teams building on top of my infrastructure. And so that's why now that we have so many teams using our technology and wanting to go live, we also need to go live with mainnet alpha. So I'm very excited about going live with mainnet alpha and then going live with the confidential SPL token standard.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think teams building on top of is the proof point that you need, right? So congratulations for everything you've done and looking forward to seeing what's in future.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Cheers. Thanks, Yannik.